The New York Times is carrying water for the far right, for the establishment, and they're doing so by trying to derail the candidacy of Zoran Mamdani. They recently published a piece, headline, and this is supposed to be a big, giant scandal. Mamdani identified as Asian and African on college application. Oh, my God. Jesse, oh, my God. Who cares?
Yeah. Well, two things I don't care about. The reason I don't care about it. One, he's a kid when he did it. Like, you're 18. And when the boxes that you check, if they're technically accurate, he was born in Africa and he isn't white. I mean, it's a non-story, absolutely non-story. And the New York Times is trying to, I don't know, prop up the absolute fascist goon in Eric Adams, or maybe this desperation campaign on the part of Cuomo by not taking himself off the ballot. They just don't want Mamdani. Anybody else they'll take, anybody else who will destroy New York City and the people who live there, as long as it's not Mamdani.
Right, because Mamdani actually wants to, I don't know, help average New Yorkers. Yeah. You know, make it so that we've got free public transportation, which apparently is the devil, and rent freezes, which pisses off all the, real estate folks and all the ones on Wall Street. They're just so mad. And of course, these are the people that they're the New York Times.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a challenge out there to my audience right now, or the trolls in my audience. Just name me what's one scary policy that he's put forward? Every single one that I see from Zoran Mamdani has been to lift people up, to make people more powerful, to give them the bootstraps that Republicans constantly talk about. He's not trying to destroy anything. He's trying to give people more power and more control over their lives through liberty and the pursuit of happiness, the things that Republicans constantly talk about as written in the Declaration of Independence.
Yes, but Jesse, he did say that billionaires shouldn't exist. I agree with that, actually.
Well, what's interesting about that, too, is when Kristen Welker on Meet the Press asked him the question, the way she framed the question gave you all the information that you needed. She said, do billionaires have a right to exist, as though it was she just reversed the language on the Israel question about whether Israel has a right to exist. They don't ask that about Canada, but that's a different conversation. It's absolutely, well, a billionaire as a human has a right to exist, but through policies, we could make it so they don't exist through a top-end progressive tax system where every dollar after $10 million, or after every dollar after $999 million that you make a year is taxed at 95%. Well, not everything's taxed at that rate, just the dollars that would make you a billionaire. Great.
Exactly. And that apparently scares the crap out of everyone. By the way, scares the crap out of people probably making about $30,000 a year, which is ironic and really funny. But they must be those temporarily embarrassed billionaires that we hear so much about.
Yeah. Well, so that lady who has the diabetic retinopathy from the previous story, the MAGA lady who's now complaining that her Medicaid is going to make her blind, she is also probably one of those people that thought she would be a billionaire. People just have no understanding of just how much wealth $1 billion is. $1,000 million people think they have a shot at making when they will never see $1 million in their entire lifetime. It's the ultimate con of the Republican Party. If we could pinpoint one, it's probably that.
Yeah. And there are a lot of cons in the Republican Party. I mean, the conservative, you can't spell conservative without con.
Waka, waka, waka.
Now, here's the thing, right? So this started out with the New York Times, and then, funny enough, it filtered into Fox News, where you had Charlie Hurt calling Mamdani a racist on Fox and Friends. I kid not. I kid you not. And said that Mamdani, quote, despises America and everything that we stand for. Yeah, okay, Charlie Hurt. Yeah, okay. And look, it went through the New York Times and filtered through all the right-wing rags that are presenting this as now a DEI scandal, which I thought we got rid of DEI. What isn't that what Trump supposedly did? Got rid of DEI. We're in a merit-based system now. Except that no, because you look at people like freaking Pete Hegseth, you know, there ain't no merit there. How the hell did he get that job? How the hell did any of these people get that job? It ain't merit. It's
fealty. It's how deeply did you bend the knee to the dear leader? That's how you get your job. It's certainly not merit. It's worship.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what's even more interesting is where the New York Times even got this alleged scandal, right? So there was a hack into Columbia's databases, transmitted to the paper through an intermediary who was, for some reason, given anonymity. Oh, that's interesting. Now, this source was revealed to be none other than Jordan Lasker, a apparently well-known eugenicist or somebody who basically is a racist.
Yeah.
And that's really it.
All these race science, IQ, racism, nonsense, neo-Nazis. It's nice for the New York Times to be in such close proximity to them to transmit their lies and propaganda and conspiracies up to and including besmirching and trying to sink the campaign of somebody who's an electric politician who actually has a heart to make things better for the people in New York City. It's just sick.
It is absolutely sick. And I mean, that's why do this story at all in the New York Times? Well, and it's because the wealthy people run the New York Times. They're scared of Mamdani. They're scared of the, minor reforms that would actually help average working people. And yes, would mean slightly higher taxes on the rich. That's really what it is. I mean, this is capitalism trying to push back against someone who is a democratic socialist, which, by the way, is still capitalist, okay? But actually wants to stop giving everything to the rich and powerful and actually have a slightly better, more equal distribution of wealth. And that is what they are scared of. I mean, they're deathly afraid of any sort of power going back into the working class, any amount of wealth trickling back down to the working class, that they will partner with people who are probably on their free time measuring skull shapes to go up against this guy.
Yeah.
Who won a primary, not even a general election. He won a primary against, and by the way, I'm not taking away from the accomplishment here, because the entire establishment was against this guy, backing a sex pest in Cuomo and just a horrible person in Eric Adams. And they backed those people. Bill Clinton came out and, supported Cuomo. And that's not a surprise considering they're both sex pests. But, you had all of this, the establishment against him, and he still managed to overcome that. And that's what's got them absolutely just terrified. They're shitting their pants.
Well, I think it's more shocking to them that he's got 4 strikes working against him. He's young. You know, the gerontocracy that is our politics today is going to push back against that. He's a democratic socialist, which is capitalist, like you just said. It's not like Sweden or Finland or some Scandinavian nation is some hellscape. They're getting it done, and they're getting it done well. He's also brown. Oh my God.
Oh no.
And it's scary. He's a Muslim. So he's got all these things working against him, and he's still one that's got to be sending shivers down the metaphoric spine of the New York Times. They're losing it.
Yeah, they're absolutely losing it. And again, this should really, I mean, if anybody here, I doubt anybody here has a New York Times subscription, but if you do, it's time to chuck it. Okay. It's past time to chuck it because they have been, I mean, on an anti-trans bender, okay, for the longest time. And I keep thinking of that guy that keeps getting legitimized, but I keep forgetting his name because he is that forgettable.
Is it the cockroach Brett Stevens?
No, not that guy. But very, very anti-trans, but he, is considered to be some sort of intellectual. But I just keep forgetting his name, and I don't know why.
Well, he's that forgettable.
Is that apparently that forgettable, but has so much influence on the New York Times and mainstream media that he just keeps popping up. And I thought that for a while that he was one of the sources. Turns out he's not. It's this other, extremely racist douchebag. But, you have those people that are informing the New York Times and collaborating with the New York Times to do these hit pieces on people like Mamdani, or again, just in general, the trans community. And it just really shows you who they are. The New York Times is showing its ass.
Again, one of 1,000 different times over the Trump regimes.
Exactly.
They're doing it again.
Exactly. And boy, it'd be nice if people stop reading it. Okay. And of course, what's funny is the right wing's never going to really read the New York Times, no matter how much they try to pander, maybe because half of them can't read. I don't know. I know that's a low joke, but it might be a little true.
Yeah, you're not exactly telling lies here, so let's.
But they're not going to read it because I'm fake news and all that. So no matter how much they pander, they're never going to get that big boost in the audience that they're.
Look, it's not going to protect them from when Trump comes for them too. It's just like Jake Tapper. I don't know what the fuck he thinks he's doing right now, protecting himself or his family or whatever. It will not save you. Bending the knee to Donald Trump in any capacity isn't going to save you. They're going to come for you too. It's just going to take a little bit of time.
Exactly. And yet, while people like and they rail against people like Mamdani, who are actually going to try to protect his constituents, and yet you got the New York Times coming after him, smearing him, doing these non-stories up against him. And while he's trying to do the right thing and trying to help people. And look, that's why I hope that he wins. I mean, that he beats Adams and Cuomo. I don't know if he's officially in the race, but I mean, everybody's thinking that, yeah, he's going to be in the race. And so I hope he wins, and I hope he continues to scare the ever living shit out of these, rich, racist fuckbags. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.